Hey guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to explain a bit about myself. And don't worry if you haven't seen the rest of the YouTubers yet, they will be putting some videos up some point in the near future, so you'll get to know them. But today I'm going to tell you about my story and how I sort of discovered myself. I forgot to mention this, and I should have mentioned it before, but my name's Rose, and you can always come and talk to me if you need any help. Why didn't I do that in the first place? Anyway, so, first of all, I was born in 1995. Yeah, I'm older than Pokemon, and as you can tell, I am a pretty big fan of it. I love video games and things like that. I loved video games growing up. Growing up, I always felt a bit weird in that I remember when I was young, I used to cross my legs, you know, because of my parents' jobs. I used to have a babysitter, and she told me off once for sitting in a bus stop. I crossed my legs, and she said to me, "You stop doing that, that's what girls do." And you know, and then I remember one day I went to a toy shop with my parents, and I said to my dad, "Can I buy a Barbie?" And he said, "No, that's a girl's toy." Yeah, I never got that Barbie. I never got that Barbie. So yeah, and when I got older, when I hit my teenage years, I was very much like a gothic-y emo kid, the long fringe and things like that. I had little studs, the little fake piercings and things like that. God, I looked awful. And yeah, I think I was different then, especially when I went to an old boys' school in my hometown. I'm originally from Newcastle, and I got picked on so much because I was always different from them. I didn't feel very comfortable there. I never really fitted in. I think less because of a gender thing, because I didn't know about it at the time. But more of, I don't know, I just didn't feel like I belonged there. When I got older, I came out as gay. I got heavily, you know, bullied for that, beaten up, things like that. Had stuff thrown at us, you know, the god-awful names. And the thing was, in the back of my mind, I knew I wasn't, because I was bisexual, and B, because I was having relationships with women as well as men, and like, I felt homosexual when I was with females, or lesbian, and I felt straight when I was with the men. And yeah, that was an interesting conversation with my parents. I didn't really start exploring my gender until I was about 16. There was a TV show at the time called My Transsexual Summer, and I remember watching the show, and it sort of clicked with me that the alignment was wrong in terms of my body. Eventually, I went to a youth group. I found one after I'd moved schools because the bullying had got too much. I had a failed suicide attempt, but I joke about it now because it's the only thing I could do. I used to say that, you know, I was stuck in a bed, drugs going through my veins because, you know, I attempted an overdose. So I had drugs going through my veins, surrounded by sexy nurses. It's like living in Russell Brand's mind. But you know, it's laughable now. Well, you know, for me anyway. And then when I moved to this new school, I was getting the help. I was going to the youth group, and then I remember coming back from the group, and a guy mugged me, and he had a knife in his pocket. He sort of like hid the knife and showed the handle, sort of thing. And then I told my dad, and he said that that's what I got for dressing like that, because I wasn't dressing in women's clothing at the time, not really, but I did dress very effeminately. I hadn't really started wearing women's clothes as much as I do now. So from when I was 17 till I was about, actually not that long ago, a few months ago, I was butch. I did bodybuilding. I used to weigh about 13.5 stone at my most, and it was very much when I came to university eventually. I used to drink a lot, smoke a lot, anything that I used to sort of help me deal with it. And then eventually I kind of said to myself, I have to do something about this, because if I don't, I'm going to end up killing myself or God knows what. Especially when I started using drugs, pretty much from when I was 17 till about 18. You know, heavy drinking, heavy smoking, or use of drugs, and then eventually I just quit, but I hadn't come out yet, and now it's the best feeling ever. It's like liberation, because now I'm myself, and I can honestly say that this is who I am. And so now I have my referral to the gender clinic. I'm still waiting to get back in terms of seeing a psychiatrist, and hopefully we can get things started. But yeah, that's a bit of my story. I hope if some of you can relate that it did help. Please don't be afraid to ask any questions. I'll try and answer them. Just leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you real soon, and hopefully my colleagues will at some point put their introductions up and say who they are. But until then, see you soon.